Before we begin, I'd like to say a few words about the shooting at Fort Stewart in Georgia. As you know, 5 people were seriously wounded and 2 very, very seriously hurt around 11 o'clock this morning. The shooter is now in custody, and the Army Criminal Investigation Division is on site to ensure that the perpetrator of this atrocity, which is exactly what it is, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We're going to take very good care of this person that did this horrible person.
So there you have President Donald Trump reacting to the news coming out of Fort Stewart in Georgia, where 5 soldiers were injured by a fellow Army man. Trump surprisingly kept his remarks quick, simple, withholding any unjust accusations because, of course, this investigation is still ongoing. Can't say the same, though, for Tommy Tuberville. After initial reports about the shooting began to emerge, one MAGA account on X tweeted a snippet from a Fox News report. Listen.
The 2nd Brigade combat area is the location of the active shooter, according to authorities there on post. The scene is very active, they tell us. No information on the suspect. Fox can confirm people are hurt in this, and what we're being told is casualties, and you know that could mean hurt or worse. So we'll call them casualties. We don't know the conditions of people. We don't know if anyone has been killed, but we know people are hurt. We are monitoring the situation. We'll bring you information as we can get it.
All right, so that, as the story was breaking minute by minute, second by second, video literally stated the scene is very active, no information on the suspect. But Tommy Tuberville, somehow, he knew everything, okay? He's clairvoyant, I guess. Quote, tweeting the video with this: praying for the safety of everyone in Fort Stewart. This is the direct result of the radical left's constant demonization of law enforcement and our military service members. Okay, Jenk, so we can get into how wrong Tuberville was in just a moment, but just the reaction to his posts in real time.
Yeah, so look, I've been covering politics now for way too long, over a quarter of a century. We've been doing Young Turks for over 20 years online. And so I've seen a lot of things change over that time. And so about 15 years ago, just to be conservative, if somebody had said something this outrageous and this wrong, there would have been a lot of consequences. It would have been a huge news story. It would have been like easily the biggest news story. We weren't sure we were going to do this story today, right? Because people are constantly making everything up now, saying the most outrageous things with no evidence, no facts. So back in the old days, there would have been a lot of coverage of should Tommy Tubberville resign, because what an outrageous thing that he made up on the spot. We had no idea who the shooter was or why he did it. Even at this late date, we're not sure why he did it. But he worked there, and he did go and fire his co-workers, so that gives you some clue. One clue that he was not a deranged leftist against the United States military is that he was in the United States military. Actually, that's the only thing we knew about him at the time. But that didn't stop Tommy Tubberville. So he just made up stuff, smeared the other side. And will he apologize? Of course not. Will there be any consequences? Of course not. Will anyone even remember this story within a week? Nope. Because Tommy Tubberville will make up new things. Donald Trump will make up 200 new things by then. The corporate Democrats will make up, oh, we care so much about the Gazans. Give me money, Israeli PACs, okay? It's so many lies and lies on top of lies on top of lies that this will get lost in the haystack of lies. But you should be outraged when a guy like this is basically insulting your intelligence, right? And he's trying to demagogue. And if you're on the right, he's trying to get you to hate the other side. Facts be damned. Don't worry about it. And don't worry about how both sides are robbing you blind. Just hate the other side without any facts at all. That's what's happened.
Well, as you know, Cenk, he cares a lot about the military. Remember, he was holding up those promotions in the past for his own agenda. Here are the details of this one. U.S. Army Sergeant allegedly shot and wounded 5 other soldiers at Fort Stewart in Georgia using his personal handgun, officials said. Shooting at the 2nd Armored Brigade combat team area was reported at 10:56 a.m. Suspect, Automated Logistics Sergeant Cornelius Radford, apprehended at 11:35 a.m. According to Brigade General John Lubis, 3rd Infantry Division and Fort Stewart Hunter Army Airfield Commander, there's this. Motive is not clear. Shooting involved the 28-year-old Randolph's co-workers and was at Radford's co-workers and was at Radford's place of work. He used a personal handgun, but it's not clear how he brought it into the workplace. 5 soldiers injured, expected to recover, 3 of whom have already been released. Sergeant's father, Eddie Radford, age 52, lives in Jacksonville, said this in an interview with the New York Times late Wednesday. He hadn't noticed anything unusual about his son's behavior recently, didn't know what might have led him to attack his fellow soldiers. It's hard for me to process, he said. So even the father of the accused doesn't know what led to this. Elder Radford did tell the Times his son, who is Black, had been seeking a transfer after complaining to his family of racism at Fort Stewart, where he had been stationed for several years. To be clear, this is not necessarily the motive. Still working this active investigation. Mr. Radford also said his son did not have a history of serious mental health issues, though he sometimes dealt with depression tied to the death of his mother, which happened when he was a child. He joined the Army because several of his uncles are veterans, Mr. Radford said. Sergeant Radford sent a text message to his aunt on Wednesday morning, which said he loved everybody and that he'll be in a better place because he was about to go and do something. Radford also had no known history of disciplinary issues in the military, nor did he show at this reporting any warning signs. The only blip was Radford had been arrested for DUI in May. He was charged with driving under the influence, running a red light, something the Army was unaware of until the shooting. But of course, with all of these unanswered questions, Tommy Tuberville still believes he knows exactly what went down here and why, which is why his tweet is still up on his profile, Cenk.
Because they just don't care anymore. There's no accountability, there's no consequences. So just make up stuff but make sure you get your own side really angry at the other side so they can't see straight. And so when they can't see straight, that's when we pull up the Brinks truck in the back and steal all the money. Oh, did we just add $4 trillion to the debt when we ran on cutting the debt? Remember when the Republicans pretended they were gonna cut the debt? They added $4.1 trillion to the debt in that bill. And where did the great majority of it go? Oh, it went to the extremely wealthy and corporations. But hey, I bet that shooter was a left winger, and the left wingers make get you so to hate the cops and the military. Dude, you're trying to get people to hate the left wingers as you're pretending the left wingers are trying to get people to hate the military and the police. This has nothing to do with any of that. He was military. All right, you guys get it. Look, last thing on this is Tommy Tubberville is the new reigning champion. He's, for a long time, Louis Gohmert used to be the dumbest man in American politics. He retired. We're gonna tip our 40 to Gohmert later. But now it's Tommy Tubberville. And I mean, how did this moron coach a football team? So anyways, he'll make up 1,000 more things going forward because both because he's a bad guy and because he's not bright enough to do it in a sophisticated way. So he'll be like, oh, them bad, them did it. The left did things. What did they do? I don't know. Hate the left. Okay, Tommy, got it. Donors, did you get all the cash? You got all the cash? Mainstream media, you did the getaway car. You covered all our culture wars so that nobody noticed the robbery. Good. Actually, he wouldn't be that smart. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.